How's it going, everyone? It's Juan Romero here from Switchwatch, back with another review. Today is a game called Bomber Crew. Let's see if this one is worth your hard-earned cash. Let's get straight into it. Bomber Crew was released on Steam back in October 2017, where it received quite high praise on the PC. I've always found simulation games to work better on PC purely because I personally prefer a mouse and keyboard to manage all the intricate little things that you have to manage within missions in games like these. I was really interested to see what the transition of Bomber Crew would be like on the Nintendo Switch and whether it was a game I would love playing on the move on a smaller screen. In terms of gameplay, for those that don't know, Bomber Crew is a game where you're in charge of everything which happens within a bomber plane and in real time. It's based on World War II and bomber missions are stressful. There's no time to pause and figure out what your next move is going to be. Something happens, you have to deal with it, or the whole bomber plane and its crew's at stake. Lose a crew member that you've spent hours building up and they're gone forever in a permadeath state. You'll therefore have to grind missions again to build up your crew member if they've met their maker. You manage all of the crew and the things they all do within a mission. Now, as you begin with Bomber Crew, things start with a couple of tutorial missions, and it's to get you used to the mechanics of the game, of course, in particular navigation, bombing, repairing and gunning, and missions are pretty varied and interesting. There's optional side missions within each mission that you can complete for that extra cash, which helps with upgrades. Missions usually involve blowing up certain targets or dropping off some reinforcements. Some may require photographs of certain areas, and others will require you to drop bombs from high altitudes due to them being so powerful that they could kill your crew due to a lack of oxygen. Missions may also change midway through to keep you and your crew on your toes. Now, you'll learn the essentials from the tutorials, but because there is quite a few things to learn within the heat of battle, it's very easy to forget what you've just learned. So it will take you a good hour or so to get used to how it all works. Now, once you master the basics, it's one of those games that you're either going to love or become frustrated with very quickly. I'm not the best at multitasking. In fact, I'd say it's one of my weak points in life. I like to focus on one thing at a time, do it well, and then move on to the next task, but that's just me. This game requires that you prioritize the most important things within your bomber in light of what's going on within a mission, and multitasking is going to be absolutely essential skill set here. Was a game to definitely improve one of my weak points. Now, as an example, you might be flying your bomber to take out a target or take some top secret photos from a site, and you'll come under fire from enemy craft. You'll have to toggle those planes by holding down ZL and focusing on them for a second or two so that the target is registered, and you have to do this with land targets as well. Only then will your crew start to fire upon them with their artillery, and this is automatic. Move one of your crew members away from a gun turret to heal, for example, from taking incoming fire, and you're a turret down. Now, if you have an engine fire and electrical problems, then you're going to need two of your guys to go and sort that out. Once your target site is nearing, you'll have to make sure that one of your crew operates the bay doors to open so you can drop bombs. And even here, you'll have to think about things really carefully. Open the doors too early, this creates drag, and drag wastes your plane's fuel. Each crew member, when highlighted, will have their own dashboard with things that they can do. So, for example, our bomber guy has the ability to make sure that bombs are armed and selected. They can open the trapdoor and view the ground, and once you see the target, which goes past rather quickly I might add, you'll need to release the bombs just on time to hit that target. It's all rather fun, but forget to open the doors and you'll have to swing round and hit the target again, opening up more potential for wasting that precious fuel. Miss the target altogether and you will have wasted precious bombs, of which you only have a certain amount of, and even taking off requires you to pull up the gear. Forget to do this, you could end up taking more damage and losing more fuel. Landing, you'll need to pull down that gear too, so you can probably see where I'm going with all of this. Every action or lack of action can cause your crew and bomber a problem. Attention to detail and managing your crew members is paramount. Now, each crew member has special perks. You may want to use, for example, focus, which you may want to activate in the middle of a dogfight so that the crew member has a better chance to take down that enemy craft. While all this is happening, you need to make sure your pilot is flying the plane to the next target, and this requires you to toggle the next target or next place you want to fly to every so often. You're also having to navigate your bomber to the right places and getting everyone ready for the run at that target. Sometimes you'll have to manage multiple crew members at a time and multiple issues, and all of this raises your stress levels. Fail to navigate your plane and it will fly off somewhere on its own, again wasting fuel, and before you know it, you'll have flown halfway around the world and then you'll need to turn back. Worse still, if you accidentally move your pilot from his seat, you'll end up crashing your plane, killing your whole crew,
and that's a massive no-no. As you can imagine, while taking on enemy fire, your plane will get hit. You'll have to repair engines, extinguish fires, heal fallen crew members, and so forth. The more you fail to keep on top of this stuff, the more likely you're going to fail the mission. Now, each crew member that you remove from their post to complete a task is a resource you may need elsewhere, so each decision is crucial to keep the crew alive. Time management is also key, and being efficient is probably the most important. Now, my first fear was realised though when playing this on the Switch. The controls were okay when having to pull off multiple tasks, though I found the controls to be a little clunky. Often, if you're not precise with your commands, you can end up with crew in the wrong place, not doing what you asked them to do, and this becomes really frustrating when you're under continuous pressure being fired upon. Finding a bug in handheld mode did not help matters. This bug would not allow me to select crew members properly, which is a massive flaw, but would only appear 5 to 10 minutes into a mission. The cursor would end up cycling through crew members at a mental speed, making it impossible to select the one I needed. I tried everything but could only play in docked mode with a Pro controller, and weirdly, even with the Joy-Cons in docked mode, this problem did not appear. I made the devs aware and hope either a patch is released or it's a problem only affecting me, as otherwise this game would be impossible to play in handheld, which of course is a massive advantage to us Switch owners. The other frustration for me is the missions lasting 10 or 20 minutes long, dependent on their complexity. This is all well and good except for when you mess up and have to start the whole mission all over again. The good thing is you do learn from your mistakes, but losing crew member and having to build them up again can become a bit of a grind and frustrating, and perils come from everywhere. There's a lot of unexpected things. Your electrics might all of a sudden fail and they'll need repair. You may run low on fuel. Weather may affect the mission. So many things can go wrong and often do, and it's managing all of these things which make you feel like a hero when you do it successfully. And once missions are complete, you can buy your crew new perks like new gear, and that will give them passive perks which are essential to get past later missions. I couldn't help but chuckle when I bought my whole crew Christmas jumpers, which gave me certain stats. You can buy your crew all of the same wares at the press of a button if needed, which costs you money, but I'd suggest you take your time to spec each individual out with items that help them within their roles. You'll be able to get more powerful artillery or the ability to call for reinforcements later on within other missions, so the upgrades do keep you really motivated to complete missions. You can customize your plane to your heart's content, which is absolutely awesome. I loved having our channel name on the side of our plane. Just need to figure out a way of transferring our logo over as well, which is going to probably require some drawing. The plane will need all manner of upgrades, from its engines, artillery, you name it, and you can probably upgrade it here. Certainly goes in depth, which is excellent. One thing of note though is you'll have to recruit your own bomber crew team from a selection of applicants, which is cool. You'll feel for them though, because if you lose one on a mission, that's it, they're gone forever, as it is permadeath. However, it doesn't mean you have to start all of the missions again, which is a bit of a bonus, but you will need to build them up if you want to do those critical missions later in the game. In terms of visuals and performance, don't let the cute characters in Bomber Crew fool you here. While the graphics have a cute cartoony look, the game is anything but. The game is at times very tough and does not let up. The visuals are of a low polygon look affair, and I have to say, for a team of 2 people who developed this game, they've done a commendable job. The bomber's attention to detail is especially nice. I love the differing views you have, being able to see the cross section of the bomber plane itself, or zooming out so you can see it flying through the skies. While the terrains and backgrounds are not the most detailed, it does the job. The game also runs with no performance issues that I came across, which was nice to see. In terms of audio, it's a game that does everything right. It's atmospheric, from the dramatic music to the rain hitting the plane on a long flight. I like the way you're notified by crew members with mumbles when something needs doing. Forget to toggle your next path and you are alerted. Targets come up and you hear the sound on the radio. Dogfights sound great and exciting, with bullets ricocheting off your plane and engines exploding into flames. All makes things sound rather troubling. I thought the game sounded great and I had no issues with it at all. In terms of value then, the game is priced at $14.99, and I hear that the UK price is going to be also £14.99. At 15 hours or so gameplay to beat the main campaign, you're looking at a good amount of gameplay on this one. It's a good challenge too, with plenty of side missions, and there's a game that's going to keep you going for a pretty long time. The game also has a challenge mode to change the game up, where you can take part in defeating fighters and taking out targets if you don't wish to take part in the campaign and just need a change up. I would say that if portability is not that important and you own a PC PC. Personally, I'd probably get this on PC purely because I find it easier to manage games like this with a mouse and keyboard. It also has 50% off at this time on Steam. Bomber Crew is a game which is for those that don't mind managing stressful situations and are pretty good at multitasking. I enjoyed the game, but for me it's not without some flaws, especially on the Nintendo Switch. I think the controls could be a little bit tighter. The bug I encountered ruined my fun with the game in handheld mode, and permadeath isn't for everybody. While of course realistic, it's going to frustrate a few when having to build up crews again to take on the more critical missions. Taking it all into consideration, there's still a lot of fun to be had with this game. It's one which is pretty good value, although it's 50% cheaper on Steam right now, and it gives you a good amount of gameplay time. So for me, a 7.5 out of 10. If you enjoyed this review, I'd appreciate it if you hit that thumbs up button. If you're a new watcher here, then why not consider subscribing to our channel. You also have the chance to win monthly prizes, especially if you can find our hidden Easter egg footage. This month it's a football theme, so make sure you watch our videos throughout. Lastly, leave me a comment down below. What do you think of this game? Have you played it before, or are you looking to purchase this one on the Nintendo Switch? I look forward to seeing you again soon. My name is Juan Romero from Switchwatch, and again I'll see you on the next one. Take care.